right, everybody. This is the OZone Espresso edition, post Game 1 NBA Finals edition. I'm here with my brother, the Icons, and I have to say, I'm weak. I'm devastated.
Me too. Devastation is short-sighted, sort of. I mean, this is ridiculous. I've never seen anything like this before in NBA Final history.
They robbed the king tonight.
They robbed the king, and
not only did the NBA rob the king tonight, his own team robbed the king tonight, and ultimately the weed robbed J.R. Smith of greatness tonight. This is unbelievable what we saw, folks. LeBron James put up 32 shots, and of his 32 shots, he hit 19 of them and gave you 51. 51 on the road in the finals. 51 and clutch shots. Just like we talked about on the full edition of the OZone, he punished them thin warriors. He punished them little dudes.
He punished them, and he had the chance to steal Game 1, which would have been a whole series changer.
I agree. And instead, the lights were too bright for a couple guys. Let's start.
They really were.
Let's just on a quick analysis. I like Jordan Clarkson's energy, but the lights were too bright for him. He couldn't get it together. And perhaps Tyrone Lue needs to give Rodney Hood a chance. Who knows? Go ahead.
No, but what do you do with getting J.R. Smith out of this game and out of these series? That's what I want to know.
Well, here's the issue. J.R. Smith actually played well other than this. He wasn't great, but he contributed. I saw J.R. Smith get some big boards. I think he ended up with 10 points and 6 boards. And I saw him get some big boards. And I was amazed because they followed the playbook that we were talking about on the OZone today, which was to take the ball to the rack, to crash the boards, and to punish the Golden State Warriors for not having any size. That's what they did. They stayed in the game. They weathered the third quarter storm. And then the NBA decided it was time to go full matrix and make sure that the golden goose of the league, the Golden State Warriors, got every single call in the world. How about the call where LeBron James stripped Kevin Durant clean and they called a foul? Right. Kevin Durant makes one free throw, misses one, and then somebody gets a tip in, which then in turn makes that probably a 5-point swing.
I've never seen a superstar not get any calls. This is just unbelievable and absurd. Michael Jordan, literally, I watched him play where he literally cussed out the refs.
He's cussed out referees on live television. And then they get the calls right.
All of a sudden. But for some reason, this guy can't get a simple. He went to the rack. Draymond Green hit him on his arm. He got the basket. They didn't give him the answer.
They didn't give him the foul. And that's the one where he hung in the air on the second to the last drive of regulation. That should have been a foul. It should not have been a foul call against him on the Kevin Durant play. And as far as the strip. Then he got stripped on the other end and got fouled by Bell. They didn't call that. Then he gets the charge. They set precedent and reverse a call. In
the finals.
And I'm gonna tell you something else that did, other than just being a terrible call. I'm gonna tell you what else that did. It messed up the momentum because you could feel that the Cleveland Cavaliers were taking over the game within the last minute of the game. And it completely reversed the energy. And he still made the right basketball play at the end of the game because George Hill back cut and got open. Klay Thompson fouled as he should have because otherwise it was going to be a layup. And the only reason that if you go back and look, the only reason that it even worked out the way that it worked out is because you can play zone in the NBA. Because they were trying to play a zone to help Steph Curry, who is a defensive liability. He's a complete defensive liability. I just put it on my Twitter.
Offensive player.
I just put it on my Twitter page. If the league was like it should be, like it used to be before Shaquille O'Neal came, and you could not play the zone, they would have had to sub Steph Curry out. Because they did the exchange, just like Robbie Jones, our guest, was saying earlier. They did the high side screen exchange to make sure that whoever had the ball ended up that Steph was guarding them. And then when Steph was guarding them, there's nobody on the court that he can match up with. Then they would punish him to the basket. This was money. It was all day. And LeBron James destroyed Steph Curry, which is what leads me to this, my final point, which just broke my heart, which was Steph Curry and Draymond Green, after the outcome of the game is already determined, all of a sudden they all want to start chirping.
And Klay Thompson.
I was very surprised and disappointed with Klay.
Yeah. And
the only person who didn't say anything was Kevin Durant, and that was because he had a terrible game, thus once again proving that he's not a big-time ball player.
Why does he fall apart like this? This makes no sense.
I think it's conditioning.
On the court.
I think it's conditioning.
It's conditioning as well, and his diet, because there's no reason for a guy of his stature
with that skill set.
With that skill set, not to be able to bring the ball down, who turns it over every single time. And the reason why J.R. Smith even got the rebound is because Kevin
Durant didn't box out. And that would have been the capper.
A timeout.
Yep.
That they didn't give him, which is unbelievable to me. The timeout that he called, it probably would have been a second and a half, maybe, if he would have got it. The ref, him and the ref were looking at each other, and the ref literally did not give it to him. When J.R. Smith dribbled the ball to him and LeBron's pointing to him, he called a timeout. He tried to call a timeout because he saw that J.R. was brain dead.
He saw it. I just honestly, I've never, including Shaquille O'Neal, which is like almost blasphemous to say, I've never seen somebody completely dominate the game.
Yeah,
I mean, like LeBron James totally dominates the game, and maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment right now because I've seen Michael Jordan completely dominate games before. But the way that LeBron is dominating games like this, so I guess that's not true. The way that he's dominating the game is incredible. And to see him get cheated tonight,
it really hurt.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see him get cheated when he's given so much. This guy gave the team everything. And I have to say, the supporting cast was fantastic for the most part tonight. Yeah. Kevin Love gave you 21 and 14. Kevin Love showed you what you get when you come from an organization, from a program that teaches the fundamentals. He is a UCLA product who has had their game together since John Wooden created the system over there. And he punished the Golden State Warriors down low tonight. There was a point when he was in the post maybe 6-8 straight possessions. And he just kept running it back. And the thing that you try to explain to people is
glass.
It doesn't matter, off glass, jump hook, finger roll, however you want it. It doesn't matter whether or not you score. It's better if you do score, but it doesn't matter. When you make an attempt to score closer to the basket, it stops the long rebounds, which starts the fast breaks and the whole song and dance. Golden State was not able to get in the rhythm because Kevin Love and LeBron James were punishing them at the cup. That's the key. At the cup.
Yeah, now, honestly, if they can get over that mental hump of this damaging blow that they got tonight, they can actually win this series like I thought that they could, because the matchups are there, and Tyronn Lue actually had them together, and you went to the well once too many times for J.R. Smith. I mean, literally, J.R. Smith, I don't know
if you went to the well with him because he got the board. He got a big board. We can't absolve George Hill as a professional from missing a free throw that actually ices the game, more or less.
Well, yeah, but he got iced himself, because he literally could not get the job done, which we have seen all through the playoffs.
We've seen it all throughout his career since he's got to Cleveland. He's gone brain dead multiple times. It's unacceptable. This is just a matter of focus. It's unacceptable. And you look at this situation, and I don't know if they can bounce back. I set up a poll, guys. We have a poll on my Twitter page. I don't know if you can retweet the poll, T. We have a poll that is, can the Cavs bounce back and regroup, or is Golden State going to sweep? Because I think these are the two options, honest to God.
If
they look so mad at J.R. Smith.
Yeah. And I've never seen him look like that towards one of his teammates.
Me neither.
I think that this long layoff is actually going to work this time in their favor, and maybe it could heal this wound, because this is a deep cut. This cuts you to the white meat right there.
That cuts you to the white meat right there. It sure does. Speaking of deep wounds, I mean, I'm amazed that Klay Thompson must have a tremendous stretching regimen, because I thought he tore in his ACL. J.R. Smith was a menace tonight.
Yeah. And he cost the team again by extending himself when Steph Curry hit that.
That cost. There was no reason to go for that steal. He went for that steal, which gave them some momentum going into the third.
Exactly.
And then if you watch the replay, Steph Curry completely pulls Jeff Green's arm on the replay of the rebound. He's a complete defensive liability. He gets a pass because he sells a lot of sneakers and because of his look and because of his style of game. It really bothers me. Really bothers me. And I tell you what, people thought I was a Golden State Warrior hater before, and I'm California until the casket drops. But Golden State can kiss my ass. I can't stand this team. I can't stand these guys. That chirping after the game is already decided. Talk all that during the game. If you're going to talk it the whole time.
Right, but they were in trouble the whole time. They were on the ropes. This is like watching a heavyweight fight that the other opponent doesn't put away the guy, and then you end up getting knocked out yourself because you couldn't put him to sleep. And
this is that Klitschko Joshua.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
51-8-8 on the road in game one. That is unbelievable. And then you talk about the fracas at the end of the game with Tristan Thompson and that whole song and dance. I personally think the referees called that a flagrant 2 because they already knew that they were having a terrible night, and then they just got hot on the whistle. And I think they're going to review this game, and they're going to realize that they actually impacted the outcome of the game, and that's unacceptable.
And they have to recognize nobody pays all this money to come and watch them play. Nobody.
No, I don't think that you're right. They don't, but they do. But most people are paying all this money to watch the Golden State Warriors win, because, like I said a couple years ago, you can fantasize about playing the way that the Warriors play, and unless you put in the work, you're never, ever, ever gonna even get close to playing the game like LeBron James plays it. It's too hard. The game is too hard. Like, it's too hard on everybody's body.
Right.
This game is too rough. It's too strong for everybody. I mean, this thing about this, the league really needs to get rid of the zone, because this really bothers me. You're hiding a liability out there, because Steph Curry is a liability on defense.
Right.
And he got exposed last series with the Houston Rockets because they did the exact same thing.
Well, he got exposed last year, starting out with LeBron and them found out about him. That's what I was talking about earlier today. LeBron and them found out that with his weakness, that he was a defensive liability. They exploited it, and now they went out to exploit it again tonight.
Now, to his credit, I'll say this. He did, late in the game, after LeBron had punished him, he did go to the rack and he didn't settle for the jumper, which was smart, and it worked. But ultimately, the Cleveland Cavaliers came to play, the supporting cast came to play, and big kudos to Tyronn Lue, because you know what? Those guys look prepared.
They did look prepared mentally as well. And
that's what I'm saying. That's the coach.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just disappointing that J.R. Smith and the league, I just really fault the NBA for a lot of this, because for a lot of the non-calls and the disrespect to a superstar in the league like this, because it's not called for, and you're making it really one-dimensional and one-sided. And you should let these guys play now. You got the games that you wanted. Now let them play.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just man, really, really upset me. Really upset me. This is just wow. But I'm just happy that they showed up. I hate that this is where it went, but
yeah,
man, unbelievable. Well, folks, this is our post-game wrap-up of the OZone. Wow. I mean, I hope the series stays with this sort of intensity, but I wouldn't be surprised if it just completely unravels from this point. Very difficult to get over this mental hump. But one thing that I think is positive, I think Jordan Clarkson got the jitters out hopefully tonight, and I think Larry Nance got the jitters out. And unfortunately on the other side, you saw David West, JaVale McGee, when their number was called, they haven't played in so long, they couldn't even be effective. Draymond Green was missing shots left and right because now he defers so much, he doesn't even take those shots. He finally hit a big shot. It wasn't even a big shot. He finally hit a 3 in junk time, in overtime, and then walked around dancing like he did something. I mean, I've gotten in so many fights at parks all across America from people who play like that, who like to chirp after the fact. This is something that really gets under my skin, man. Really gets under my skin.
But chirp all the time. Show your true colors.
Show all the time. And then I can't say nothing, to be honest. All right. Well, folks, thank you for tuning in. This is the OZone, and we're out.
Peace.